I follow Evelyn Roper every year. I'm going to change that next year. That's a hard act to follow. Anyway, the poem is called The Longhorn and the Dude. Delbert was new, almost a dude, with a careless, cocky attitude. I tried to teach him to ride the herd, but it's doubtful that he heard a word. We were rounding up in Shriver's Valley. The fattened hooves were prone to dally. Delbert did not help that much, his lack of skill being as such. Now one old bull had drifted off from the rest, and more than likely wandered over the crest. So I told Delbert, ride that ridge over yonder and find that bull we call Old Thunder. I told him, do not try to rope that bull. He's an ornery critter, a real handful. But Delbert, he had a real hard head, and he totally ignored every word I said. I was sitting my horse watching the cattle mill while Delbert traversed the rocky hill. Then I saw him make a serious blunder. He rode right up on Old Thunder. Now Thunder's a sight to behold. He's big, he's mean, he's about 15 years old. He gave his massive head a toss and tipped horns that measured 6 feet across. But cocky Delbert went ahead and threw his rawhide, even though his horse was petrified. The rope fell at least 2 foot short as the agitated bull started to snort. Then the beast charged horse and man as only a 2,000-pound longhorn can. That horse was smart enough to dump Delbert into a cactus clump. Lickety split down the rough terrain, both Delbert and the horse they came. And I have to say they were making tracks. That longhorn was breathing down their backs. I watched old Delbert keeping pace, a look of terror on his face. He was neck and neck with the frightened steed. And gradually he took the lead. He beat that horse down the hill, and it's likely he's running still. I saw him jump a barbed wire fence, and no one's seen old Delbert since. This was called ranch hands. I have 2 ranch hands I think a lot of. In fact, they have my undying love. They're a very important part of my plans, and I couldn't do much without my ranch hands. If they weren't there, I'd be handicapped. I don't really think I could adapt. There'd be no possible way to meet the day's demands without the help of my 2 ranch hands. They worked in the cold and they labored hard, doing chores around the old barnyard. They've been immersed in mud, grease, and grime, and they've stood up well to the test of time. Now, you more than likely think that I've been talking about 2 hard-working men, but actually, the hands to which I attribute such worth are the ones that I've had since the day of my birth. And I got to do one for my wife, because if she is listening, everybody's did one for theirs, so I better do this one. This is actually her favorite poem, and it's called Inside Fences. The horse corrals I'm fixing, the cement she's a mixing, her mood it is summer. I scream I need bigger nails and try to level the fence rails. How did the rest of that go? And complain about crooked lumber. Her enthusiasm is not the same as when the horses came. Maybe she needs a little understanding. Perhaps I should use a soft touch, not order her around so much and not be so demanding. She stands by me faithfully for reasons that I cannot see. May she never come to her senses. So tonight when I go into the house, I'll cuddle up with my sweet spouse and mend my inside fences. Okay, now this is my last one. It's called Ode to Roy Rogers. I remember as a kid the fun things that I did, like watching the Yankees and Dodgers. But my most favorite thing was watching the Cowboy King, the man we call Roy Rogers. Old Roy would pick his loyal sidekick. He really had fun with those old codgers. And even though they fuss, they, just like us, loved this man called Roy Rogers. He'd fight the bad men, and he'd always win with the help of his Jeep-driving friend, Pat Brady. Or he'd ride the hard trail with his sweet woman Dale, and she was quite a lady. Old Roy and Dale would sing happy trails and then say, see you again real soon. So I'd go on outside my stick horse Trigger I'd ride, and I would be Roy all afternoon. Thank you very much.